The mold was never made for you. Stop trying to fit. Good evening. I want to start tonight by introducing you to someone extraordinary, someone whose quiet wisdom is shifting how we think about success, fulfillment, and what it truly means to thrive in a career that doesn't always feel like it was made for you. Her name is Isha Jimenez, and for 23 years, she has served as a registered dental assistant. But here's what makes Aisha's story so powerful, so necessary, so urgent for every single one of us in this room tonight. She spent most of those years believing she was in the wrong place, believing her quieter, more introspective nature was a liability, believing that because she didn't fit the mold of what a dental professional was supposed to look like, sound like, or act like, she had somehow failed. And yet, she stayed. She showed up, she served, and now looking back, she realizes something that could change the way all of us think about our own journeys. She wasn't in the wrong place at all. She was exactly where she needed to be, learning exactly what she needed to learn, becoming exactly who she was meant to become. Isha Jimenez is making the world a better place by giving permission to every person who has ever felt like they didn't belong to stay anyway, to honor their own path, and to trust that their unique presence is not a mistake. It's a gift. Tonight, I want to share with you the insights from my conversation with Isha Jimenez. And I want to challenge something we've all been taught to believe, something that has shaped careers, crushed dreams, and silenced voices for far too long. We've been told that if you want to succeed in a career, your personality needs to match the job, that extroverts belong in sales, that introverts belong behind desks, that if you're soft spoken, you should avoid leadership. And if you're empathetic, you should steer clear of high pressure environments. We've been told that fit matters more than anything else. And if you don't fit, well, maybe you're just in the wrong place. But what if that's wrong? What if the idea that your personality must match your career is not just limiting, but fundamentally flawed? What if some of the most fulfilled, most impactful professionals are the ones who didn't fit the mold at all, but chose to honor their journey anyway? Let me tell you what Isha Jimenez taught me. Your personality does not have to match your career choice for you to be successful or fulfilled. For years, she believed the opposite. She thought her quieter nature, her introspection, her softness disqualified her from thriving in a fast paced, high energy dental practice. But here's the truth she discovered after more than 2 decades. She sold herself short by believing she had to conform rather than honor her unique strengths and journey. Sometimes the most unexpected paths reveal the most about who we truly are. And that's where real growth begins. Now, let's sit with that for a moment because this insight doesn't just apply to dental assistants, it applies to every single one of us who has ever felt like we were supposed to be someone else in order to succeed. It applies to the high achieving Black woman who has spent decades leading teams, raising families, holding down households, carrying communities, all while wearing a cape she never asked for. It applies to anyone who has been told, implicitly or explicitly, that their softness is a weakness, that their vulnerability is unprofessional, that their authenticity is a liability. Isha Jimenez's story is a reminder that your journey is valid, even if it doesn't look like anyone else's. There is power in honoring your own story, including the detours and doubts, because they shape your resilience and wisdom. And here's the second insight: authenticity is a strength, not a liability. Embracing who you are, softness, vulnerability, and all can unlock new levels of fulfillment and success, especially in spaces where conformity is often expected. And finally, it's never too late to redefine your worth. Whether you're just starting out or reflecting on decades of work, you always have the right to choose yourself, set new boundaries, and pursue what lights you up. Now, I know some of you are thinking, that sounds beautiful, but is there any evidence that this actually works? Let me share three stories with you. Three women who prove that authenticity, softness, and honoring your unique journey are not just nice ideas. They are transformative strategies. They are revolutionary acts. They are world changing movements. First, Dr. Joy Harden Bradford. Dr. Joy is a licensed psychologist who founded Therapy for Black Girls, a culturally relevant mental health platform for Black women professionals and entrepreneurs. When she started, she faced enormous challenges. There was stigma around mental health, especially in Black communities. There was a lack of representation in the therapy world, and there was pressure, constant crushing pressure to conform to traditional ideas of strength, to be the strong Black woman who doesn't need help, who doesn't break, who doesn't rest. But Dr. Joy did something radical. She embraced vulnerability and emotional intelligence. She built a podcast, a therapist directory, and community events that centered softness and self care. She made it okay to not be okay. And what happened? Therapy for Black girls became a leading mental health resource, reaching millions and normalizing self care for Black women. Dr. Joy created a national movement. She built a thriving online community. She shifted conversations about mental health. She redefined what professional success looks like for Black women, making softness and vulnerability cornerstones of thriving careers. Her own journey with mental health and her desire to create space for others fueled her mission. And today, she's changing lives, not in spite of her softness, but because of it. Think about that. Not in spite of, because of. Second, Morgan DeBaun. Morgan co founded Blavity Inc., a media company amplifying Black voices and building community through authentic storytelling. She faced industry bias, pressure to conform, the risk of losing authentic Black stories to mainstream narratives that didn't understand, didn't care, didn't see. But Morgan prioritized authenticity, empathy, and community building. She ensured Blavity's content remained true to its audience. She refused to water down the truth. She refused to make herself smaller. She refused to fit the mold. And the result? Blavity became a leading platform for Black millennials, fostering empowerment and connection. Morgan built a multi-million-dollar company. She expanded into events and technology. She elevated countless Black creators. Her own experiences navigating bias in tech and media inspired her to create a space where Black stories could thrive. She changed the landscape of media representation for Black professionals, proving that authenticity and community are powerful assets. Morgan didn't fit the mold, she broke it, and in doing so, she created something the world desperately needed. Third, Melody Ty. Melody's journey from burnout to thriving exemplifies the power of letting go of the superwoman myth and embracing softness. She struggled with overwork, lack of boundaries, internalized pressure to do it all as a Black professional. Her story is rooted in years of putting others first and believing her value depended on productivity until she chose herself. She built supportive networks, she prioritized rest, she allowed herself to pursue her dreams unapologetically. Melody reclaimed her self worth. She achieved professional and personal goals. She inspired others to do the same. She built a fulfilling career. She mentored others in her community. She modeled healthy boundaries. She encouraged a movement of Black professionals to choose rest, joy, and authenticity over burnout. Melody's transformation is proof that when your personality and needs are honored, not suppressed, everything changes. Now, here's what these three women have in common: they didn't fit the mold, they didn't conform, They didn't pretend to be someone they weren't. And yet they didn't just succeed, they thrived. They built movements, they changed industries, they transformed lives, and they did it by embracing the very things the world told them were weaknesses: their softness, their vulnerability, their authenticity. This is the essence of the soft girl era. It's not a trend, it's a lifestyle rebellion, a deep exhale from the superwoman script, a quiet but powerful return to softness, rest, self trust, and radical joy. It's the sacred pause Black women have been waiting for. It's the permission to release the cape, to redefine strength, to embrace softness, to heal in real time, to protect peace as a practice, to turn survival into something sacred. And here's the truth that Isha Jimenez, Dr. Joy Harden Bradford, Morgan DeBaun, and Melody Ty all discovered: you don't have to match the mold to matter. You don't have to conform to contribute. You don't have to suppress who you are to succeed. In fact, the opposite is true. The more you honor your unique journey, the more powerful your impact becomes. So let me ask you this: where have you been selling yourself short by trying to fit a mold that was never made for you? What role, mask, or responsibility are you carrying that you're no longer willing to hold? How has your definition of strength evolved? What does your soft girl era look and feel like, right? Now, what past wound are you still tending to? And what's helping? How are you actively creating space for joy, rest, and boundaries? And how have you turned survival into something sacred or supportive for others? These are not easy questions, but they are necessary questions because the world doesn't need more people pretending to be someone they're not. The world needs you, the real you, the soft you, the vulnerable you, the authentic you, the you who has been waiting quietly, patiently to finally be seen, heard, and honored. Isha Jimenez spent 23 years believing she was in the wrong place. But she wasn't. She was exactly where she needed to be, learning to honor her own journey, her own strengths, her own story. And now she's giving permission to all of us to do the same. So here's what I need you to do: not next month, not when things slow down, not when you finally have permission from someone else. Right now, I need you to choose one way to honor your true self this week. Set a new boundary, tell your story, rest without guilt, say no without apology, embrace your softness without explanation. Because here's the truth that no one is telling you: the mold was never made for you, it was made to contain you, to shrink you, to silence you, to keep you small, manageable, predictable, safe. But you were never meant to be safe. You were meant to be free. You were never meant to fit. You were meant to disrupt. You were never meant to conform. You were meant to transform. And the moment you stop trying to squeeze yourself into a space that was never designed to hold the fullness of who you are, is the moment you step into the power you've been carrying all along. Your softness is your superpower. Your journey, no matter how unexpected, is worthy of celebration. Your voice, no matter how quiet, is necessary. And the world is waiting for you to finally believe that. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop waiting for someone to tell you that you're enough. You are enough. You have always been enough. And it's time to live like you know it. The mold was never made for you. So stop trying to fit. Thank you.